Good morning.
Welcome to Storyflix. In this video, we will discuss a Spanish-language thriller which is an original film produced by Netflix. The paramedic tells the story of Angel, a psychopathic man who is ready to do anything to get his lover back, even with his half-paralyzed body condition. Can Vane, his lover, escape from the ambush of his former psychopath? Let's find out directly in the paramedic film. The paramedic film tells the story of Angel, a man who works as a medical team in the emergency services. Together with Ricardo, his partner, Angel is always ready to help people who have an accident. However, Angel is not as innocent as a medical officer in general. Angel did not hesitate to take valuables belonging to the victims he helped, such as glasses or jewelry. These collected items are then sold to a man named Fermin. Angel lives in an apartment with his girlfriend, Vane, who is studying as a veterinarian. In their apartment lived an old man named Vicente who lived with a pet dog. Vane likes animals, but not Angel. Angel even stepped on the poop of Vicente's pet dog and deliberately brushed it on the carpet of Vicente's apartment. Every night, Vicente's dog barks, disturbing Angel's sleep. It made Angel want to get rid of the dog. Angel wanted to have children. But despite trying many times, Vane is still not pregnant. When he went to the obstetrician, Angel was told that his sperm was so weak that he would have a hard time having children. It was then that Angel realized that he was the primary source of the unpregnant Vane. In fact, Angel and Vane's relationship is not very romantic. One day Angel checks Vane's cell phone and finds Vane has been chatting with her classmate named Roberto. Roberto himself looks so handsome. Angel himself is a very possessive person towards his partner. At the hospital where he works, Angel has a friend named Andres who works as a doctor. And sure enough, Andres often gave Angel medicines to take. One day, Angel gets an emergency call. He and Ricardo immediately picked up the victim who had an accident. While on his way back to the hospital, Ricardo suddenly took a shortcut. Unfortunately, their car had an accident. The result of the accident was fatal for Angel. He was paralyzed in his legs, so he had to sit in a wheelchair. His condition hit Angel and Vane so severely. Now, Angel must accept the fact that he has to use a wheelchair. Vane patiently takes care of Angel, but Angel begins to be possessive of Vane. Angel suspects that Vane is currently close to his college friend, Roberto. Vane looks dressed up when he is about to go to campus. Fear of losing Vane makes Angel learn how to hack Vane's cell phone. One day Ricardo, his old work friend, came to visit. It can be seen that Ricardo only suffered scratches on his face as a result of the accident. Angel was so angry to see Ricardo, who had caused him to be half paralyzed. Finally, he kicked Ricardo out of his apartment. That night, when she was about to go to college, Angel pretended to ask Vane to buy him ice cream. Later then, he used the moment to install a hacking application on Vane's cell phone. Now he has all access to her mobile phone, including chat and camera, and whom she communicates. Through his laptop, Angel could even tell where Vane had gone. Angel spent the night alone at home, and his sleep was disturbed. Vicente's dog barked all night. And when confronted, Vicente said he was forced to leave his dog alone at home when he visited his hospitalized wife. But it seems that Angel can't stand the dog's presence anymore. Night came, Angel and Vane get into an argument. Vane was offered a job at a veterinary clinic and will work part-time as customer service. It made Angel so angry. The two also quarreled because Vane only wanted to pursue her dream. In the middle of the night Angel wakes up in pain. He was in so much pain and was trying to find painkillers. Finally, he found it in the kitchen. But Angel wanted to trap Vane with guilt, so he hid the dope under the bed. The following day, when Vane came home, Angel scolded her for letting himself be in pain all night without medicine. That incident made Vane so guilty. Angel, who could not stand the barking of Vicente's dog, decided to kill the dog. He stuck the needle into the flesh and gave it to Vicente's dog. Obviously, his psychopathic psyche is starting to grow. Then through his computer screen, Angel finally monitored Vane's conversation with her friend. Vane says that she can't stand living with Angel anymore, but she still can't leave him. Even though her friend had asked Vane to go, especially Angel was very rude to her. Realizing that Vane might leave him, Angel finally decides to seduce her. Angel is suddenly busy preparing a romantic dinner for Vane. He also asked Vane to wear the super sexy dress he bought. Angel promised to renovate his grandmother's room for Vane so that she could study comfortably. He still hopes to have a baby with Vane. That incident made Vane even more confused to leave Angel. While Angel was taking a shower, Vane sent a message to her friend. Surprisingly, she could hear the sound of messages being sent from the computer in Angel's room, as if her cell phone was connected to it. Out of curiosity, she then checked. It was then that Vane realized that Angel had been monitoring her every move. Angel is definitely a true stalker. Angry that her privacy has been infiltrated, Vane decides to leave Angel for good. Bringing some clothes, finally, she left. She only left a pink dress that Angel had bought. Angel, who realized that Vane knew his secret, was so sad. But he realized that Vane would never return. Several months later, Angel lived in solitude. One day, Angel decides to find Vane by following her to her school. It was then that he realized that Vane and Ricardo were currently dating. That fact made Angel so angry. It turns out that Ricardo intentionally caused Angel to crash because he had been in a relationship with Vane for a long time. Angel ends up following Vane and Ricardo to a baby supply store. It turns out that Vane is pregnant with Ricardo's child. Realizing that, Angel was devastated. Moreover, he hoped to have children. So Angel's psychopathic soul begins to burn, and he begins to plan a plan to get Vane back. Angel then meets Andres, his friend who is a doctor. Angel asks for an anesthetic, as he said his leg is always in pain. Angel then followed Vane to her school and pretended to say goodbye. Vane, who feels sorry for Angel's condition, finally intends to take him to his apartment. There, Angel said that he had put in some clothes and some van equipment. With that, Angel coaxed Vane into his apartment. But Vane was not at all expecting the trap that Angel had prepared for her. Inside the apartment, Angel injects an anesthetic into Vane's ass, which immediately gulps her consciousness. Once again, Vane is trapped in the world of Angel. Vane wakes up in Angel's former grandmother's room. Her hands and feet were tied. At the same time, her mouth was gagged, so she could not speak. Despite screaming as loudly as she could, Vane realized she couldn't break free. Angel then played loud music and locked Vane in the room. To launch the action, Angel then took Vane's cell phone and texted Ricardo. The message says that Vane doesn't want to have anything to do with Ricardo anymore. Then her cell phone was thrown into the riverbed. Angel is obsessed with Vane. He just kept holding Vane and sleeping alone with him. But that night, Vicente heard a commotion from Angel's apartment, so he came to check. Vicente insisted that he heard the music playing very loud. He could even hear Vane's voice. But Angel assures that there is no Vane there. Angel also lied if he brought in a prostitute. The next night, Angel returns to his apartment but is intercepted by Ricardo. Ricardo insisted that the Vane disappeared and the person who sent the text was not her. He knew full well that he and Vane wanted to have children and it was impossible she would leave him. But Angel insisted that he didn't know about Vane. He then sped away. The following day, Vane woke up and was shocked to see Angel sitting beside her. But she was even more shocked when she found that her legs could not be moved at all. Angel said if her leg was just numbed and it wouldn't be permanent. Angel said that he would take good care of the Vane's baby. Angel then played loud music again, and Vane knew she couldn't get out of the room with her numb legs. She was clearly trapped in that apartment with a psychopath. Alone on the balcony of his room, Angel gets a message from Ricardo saying he is sure Angel knows about the missing Vane. Then he will call the police if Angel doesn't hand over the Vane quickly. Angel knew very well that the police should not catch him. He must do something to get rid of Ricardo forever. Angel and Vane then had dinner together, and when Angel was off guard, Vane hit Angel in the head with a champagne bottle. With all her might, while dragging her body, Vane struggled to get out of the apartment. But she is not as strong compared to Angel. With a single injection, Angel managed to incapacitate Vane. However, the fight between the two turned out to be heard by Vicente. Vicente is sure that he heard Vane's voice and forces his way into Angel's apartment. Angel, with a wound on his head, could do nothing but let Vicente in. Vicente, who saw Vane lying on the floor, tried to help her, but Angel didn't let him ruin his plan. With a knife, Angel repeatedly stabbed the old man until he finally killed him. To get rid of Vicente's body, Angel calls his stolen goods collector, Furman. Vicente's body was finally removed so easily. In the morning, Angel was having breakfast when he heard that the police were coming. Amazingly, he was able to act and did not look panicked at all. The officer came to look for Vane's missing. Angel insisted that he knew nothing about the missing of Vane. Since that incident, Angel knew that he had to get rid of Ricardo as soon as possible. So armed with the apartment key he got from Vane's bag, Angel sneaked into Ricardo's apartment. Hiding behind a curtain in the bathroom, Angel injects an anesthetic which instantly paralyzes Ricardo. He then put a lot of alcohol into Ricardo's mouth using a funnel. He also spilled cocaine powder on the table, looking as if Ricardo had left from an overdose. Such was the perfect plan to get rid of its competitors. Back in his room, Angel was already very excited to welcome baby Vane. She even prepared a baby crib. He has also cooked a lot of food for the Vane, who is now also in a wheelchair. Angel wants her to be healthy so she can give birth to a healthy baby too. While eating, Angel took out a ring he had stolen before and proposed to Vane. Vane didn't move to look at Angel. She knew she had to get out of the apartment as soon as possible. While going to the bathroom, Vane reassures Angel that she needs to be alone because she knew that Angel kept the nail clippers on the shelf. With great difficulty, Vane finally found an object that would help her escape. That night, Vane shivered with fever. And Angel knew if he had to look for medicine, so by tying and gagging her mouth, Angel went, leaving Vane alone in the apartment. It turned out that Vane had hidden the nail clipper in her private part. With the nail clippers, she tried desperately to untie the knots and finally managed to break free. Now, Vane must struggle to get out of the apartment as soon as possible. But she couldn't walk, so Vane pulled herself with all her power left. Armed with a screwdriver, Vane struggled to break the door's hinges until she finally managed to get out of Angel's apartment. At that time, the apartment's surroundings were empty, and Vane struggled to drag her body as far as possible. But just as Vane reached the stairs, Angel was back in an elevator. Angel, who saw Vane struggling to catch her. Vane shouted loudly as she dragged herself as far away from the psychopath as possible. Angel and Vane then duel until finally Vane manages to push Angel and make him fall to the ground floor. Angel was unconscious. A few months later, the scene moves to a hospital where Angel is sitting completely paralyzed from falling from that height. Now Angel can't even move all his body. The pregnant Vane came and started to push Angel away. Slowly, Vane whispered that from now on, she would take care of Angel. In other words, Vane is ready to take revenge for what she has experienced so far. Subscribe for more storyline videos. Let's unpack it together.